How you guys all doing today? So last night and yesterday, we were pretty much railing on this car pretty hard. Got the belt hot, got a bunch of smoke coming out of here. Then we threw Gabe in the driver's seat for about 5 minutes and he finished it off for us. After we got done giving him a hard time, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fix this. We're gonna get all this belt out of here. So what we've done to start with, we've taken the clutch cover off, we got that off of there, and he is pulling all the pieces out of here. So he's got all these giant chunks of belt, a bunch of frayed stuff. He's got a bunch of extra of this stuff. So he's gonna go pull all that stuff out of there and get it all cleaned out. And actually we're gonna see if we can warranty this guy afterwards. But one of the biggest things here is cleanliness. So we wanna get it all cleaned out. We wanna take a Scotch-Brite or a Brillo pad of like this, and we're gonna clean the surfaces once we get all the pieces out. Sometimes this stuff gets wrapped around here and knotted up. So sometimes you really gotta work with it, and you got to get the knots out, you got to get the pieces out, and also you want to reach behind this pulley right here, and you want to make sure there's no pieces behind here. Like he just pulled a piece out of there. A lot of people will miss that piece, so it caught in there and it'll tear up the seal, and that could get to be a lengthy repair later. One of the most forgotten about places to look for belt materials behind these pulleys right here. As you can see right here, you want to reach in and grab that piece, get that wrapped up, and some of this stringy stuff will also get wrapped up behind this pulley. If that is not removed, what it'll do is it'll wrap up around the seal right there, and it'll tear that seal up, and you'll have an oil leak afterwards. So something we're trying to keep from happening. Another place too, this vent up here, we want to reach in here. You can kind of squeeze in the rubber, make sure we don't have any belt pieces up in here, because if we have this thing packed, it's a very common place for it to all collect. You hit a bump, all those pieces will fall on your new belt, and then you're gonna be doing a belt again. So we're gonna check that. Doesn't feel like there's anything in there. He's rolling this around, getting all the belt pieces back. And we're gonna go ahead and clean the pulley, and we'll be right back with you. All right, we're back here. So Gabe's over here cleaning off the pulley. And let me say real quick. So basically we're gonna use a Brillo pad of Scotch-Brite. What we're trying to do is get all the rubber off of the pulley from the old belt exploding. We wanna get a nice smooth surface, see if we can break up some of the glaze so our new belt can break in. Now, the next step, he's got it all clean. The next step is, there's special tools for different cars. Right now we're dealing with the 2016 XP4 Turbo. So this is the clutch tool for it. So he's gonna thread that in there. And what that's gonna do, as he threads that in, it's gonna push his rear pulley back, and it's gonna basically take that V and it's gonna open it up, which is gonna allow us to pop the belt over without any major prying or anything like that. Anything could damage the belt. Here's our new belt we're gonna put on here in a second after Gabe gets the tool tightened down all the way. What we're gonna run here is a Gates G-Force Redline belt, a great belt. This is one we like to run all of our cars. They take the abuse far better than the factory belt. So he's got the tool threaded all the way in right now, pulleys all the way back. I'm gonna loop this sucker back on there. We're gonna get over to the primary first, get it in the groove, and we're gonna get started in the secondary after it gets that thing popped in. Sometimes they're a little bit bare to get started. So we're gonna get this locked in, and we're gonna turn everything, and it should fall back in where it's gonna go. Okay, so got it in there. So now he's gonna go remove the tool, and it's gonna look like it's a little bit too loose for a second until we pull that tool out and we rotate it back around and let it find its home. So it will again look like the belt's way too big. But what you should do is look up the application for your belt, the car, the model, everything ahead of time. We always carry an extra belt out here. That way if you get broken down in the middle of nowhere, you're not sitting there with your thumb out waiting for somebody to come by for hours upon end or making a long walk through the sand. You should be able to change this belt in usually 10-15 minutes when you get good, and then you can throw a belt on and come right back and come back to camp and not have to worry about anything. So he's got it all back on now. Everything looks good. As you can see, it looked like it was super loose. He rotated around a few times. Now the belt's pretty tight. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put our clutch cover back on here in a second and take this thing for a spin. Now when we break these belts in, we don't like to go out and start hammering on them right away. We like to go out there, you know, put it in low, kind of put it around for 10-15 minutes, gradually start putting a little more power to it. Definitely having sand tires on there is not the best way to break a belt in, but we're gonna take that into consideration, and we're gonna be pretty mellow with it. Once we feel like get it broken and get it warm, we're gonna let it cool down. Then we'll go out there and we'll kind of throw some power to it and see what you can take. All right, thanks for stopping in and checking out our video. Have a good weekend.